on deck. He joins us now. All right, listen. We all know how much pressure you were under to make the playoffs. We all know we could sit up here and talk about what it means for you to make the playoffs. But for you personally, Bubba, what was the reason that you wanted to make them and felt like you needed to?
Well, to keep driving. I mean, 3 years into this team, not making the playoffs, I was very hard on myself if that didn't happen. I put a lot of pressure on myself to go out and perform. Getting through Indy, getting through Watkins Glen, I was super stressed to the max. Just thinking of the points gap that we had that could potentially be erased because for some reason, the road courses hasn't clicked yet, but we got to Watkins Glen, we held our own, held serve, and went into Daytona with a little bit of wiggle room. But you go into Daytona, the most out of control place. When I like to try to control everything, it was very stressful. The whole week leading up to Daytona, I was a big stress ball. I told my team if stress was a flammable liquid and somebody lit a match next to me, it would have been the biggest explosion you've ever seen.
Well, Denny, Bubba, we just spoke to your car owner, Denny Hamlin, a few moments ago, and he gave a lot of high praise for the job that you did of getting that 23 car into the playoffs at the end of the season, in particular, when that pressure was up. As you start your first playoffs, what is the best advice that you've gotten from somebody as you go into this first round of the playoffs, and who was it from?
I think you guys know that much drivers don't share their advice. So I think for me, I've got to figure it out on my own. I think just telling myself to enjoy it. We've gotten here from a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, a lot of ups and downs, but enjoying it. I'm very relaxed. I'm very calm. I feel good about our chances. The first round really suits our team and what we need to do. We really got to put some emphasis on the second round. But let's just get to the racetrack first on Saturday, get through practice and qualifying, put everything together, and we'll go fight for it as we need to. But people always ask, what do you do different going into Daytona, or what do you do different? That's where the mistakes happen. Mistakes happen when you start doing stuff different. We go out and do what we know how to do and fine-tune, tweak some adjustments that need to be made on the fly.
Well, Bubba, you say the drivers don't tell you anything to look forward to or anything else. I'm going to tell you, the pressure has just begun, buddy. That's the downfall of this thing. But you have to focus on the positives, where your strong suits are, and really hone in and capitalize and take advantage of that. We don't have the points pad that some of the drivers do, but we do have some good tracks coming up for us. What are those tracks for you?
Yeah, you look at Darlington, started second, finished fourth there in the spring. Kansas, we know what we're capable of at Kansas. Bristol, I feel like we get by there and do some good things. We can tweak to be just a little bit better where we need to be. But I look at the first round as really doing some positive things, really doing some damage to the competitors moving forward and getting off that last spot in the playoffs. So there's a lot of cars in front of us that we know we're capable of outrunning. We just have to do it and execute.
Bubba, we've stood up here every week and talked about your performance leading up to the playoffs. And one of the things I've really noticed, you get out of the car at Watkins Glen and you talk about focus, how you were the most focused that you've ever been inside a race car. I feel like we have seen you really kind of grow and I don't want to use the word mature, but I definitely feel like you're a little bit different this season than we've seen in past. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm getting older, getting a couple more gray hairs, and I'm getting a little bit more wise. And so I think understanding, the task at hand, I've had a lot of people reach out to me this year of seeing the mental side of things change and the focus side of things change for me. And going back to Charlotte, when we were kind of 15th, 16th all day, lined up 14th to 16th on the last restart and finished 4th or 5th. I thought, just having that mentality that it's not over until it's over. You gotta go out there and not jeopardize yourself, but continue to push and push and push. And it's easy. These races are long. You guys know it. It's easy to dial yourself out and just kind of be another pedestrian. But for us to continue to keep our name in the hat and not give up from drop of the green to drop of the checkered, I think that's important. And that's been a big stepping stone for me.
All right, I'm not a driver, but I do have some advice for you. You ready, Bubba? You ready?
I'm ready.
Do whatever it takes to make Michael Jordan smile the way that he was smiling Saturday night in Daytona. That was so cool. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I think for me it was special, but the more important thing was having that moment for the team to have that interaction with MJ, and to see how proud he was of them was super cool. And I get to talk to MJ a lot. As to where my guys are back at the shop busting their tails to get these Toyotas fast and making sure they're race ready. And so I thought that was important. Seeing the interaction with him and Booty was really, really cool. So you know, I've always said it. I don't get starstruck. You know, having MJ there is great, but it's more about the team than me.